Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, Awesome Radio Network, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. This is the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. We have a very interesting topic of discussion today, and that is water, being allergic to water. And people have died, believe it or not, from over, I don't know the particular word, overdoing it with water, so to speak, which is called water intoxication. I'm going to go to the first document that we have, being allergic to water. Being allergic to water is a very rare condition called aquatic. I know I'm gonna mess that up. Eukaryotic, where skin contact with water, regardless of its temperature or source, including sweat, tears, and rain, triggers itchy red hives, a burning sensation, and sometimes breathing difficulties.
Yes.
Here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Hey, Dr. Glenn, and to our listening audience on today, we have this very, very interesting subject, and it bounced off last week.
That's right.
I love when a subject pops off and we can get right at it. And I really I couldn't believe it. I heard it and I couldn't believe it, but after seeing the documents and particular things today, you can actually be allergic to water. It has its own name, and it's not, let me just say this, that it's not drinking water, because I knew that it's something just didn't fit right with being allergic to water and our body being made up 70% of our body is water, or 70-something percent. And I'm thinking, how in the world can you be allergic to something that you're made from?
That's right, but kids, that's true.
It definitely is. It definitely is true. You can be allergic to water, but it's more of a skin type thing, of getting water on your skin versus drinking water. Now, they did say that there are some extreme cases where a person will drink water and their throat will swell.
Yeah.
So it can happen with that too, and that's an extreme case. But you can be allergic to water. I'm going to...
And if your throat swells, that means you have an allergic reaction.
You're having an allergic reaction, and it is called aquagenic urticaria.
Yeah. That's that word I couldn't pronounce either.
Yeah, aquagenic urticaria.
Yes, right.
And that's what it's called, to be allergic to water. And it has to be a very miserable... of all the things to be allergic to water and never be able to enjoy water, never be able to go swimming, or never be able to, and then I have more questions.
Well, I tell you what, after the broadcast, I'm going to supply you the information to a Mayo Clinic, because I have permission to use their information, resources rather, but as long as I give them credit for using it. So I'll give you that information so you can call them, because we do have one document from Mayo Clinic on being allergic to water and water intoxication.
Yes, so I know about the water intoxication, but I think my questions are along the line with, if you're allergic to water touching your skin, how are you going to bathe? Everybody has to bathe. Everybody has to do something. I wonder, you dry rub, or how are they, how are they, you gotta do something, and then your skin sloughs off.
Yeah.
Every so often, so.
Because you will have to use more than baby wipes.
Well, something that doesn't have water in it, maybe. But even baby wipes have water in it. That's how they get wet.
Yeah, there's the water content. That's right.
So I do have some more questions that we're going to look up with it. And those particular answers we'll probably come back with next week. I did see the particular documents as we talked about it. It is a real thing. I looked at you last week, Dr. Glenn. I was like,
I wanted let me.
I'm gonna have to see proof of that.
We got 4 minutes to go before we go to the first break, but let me just explain something. So we started this topic last week when we was mentioning something, and I brought up the incident when I worked at Jersey Shore Medical Center, Neptune, New Jersey, back in the 80s. I was in the security department. While standing in the emergency room, the nurses, I got a call. Someone had actually passed away from drinking too much water. She was a jogger. That's the document I was looking for, but that's been since the 80s, so I couldn't find that particular one. But I do have one in there with a similar situation. She was out doing some work, and she succumbed to drinking water. So that's how we got started with the topic. I was trying to find a document, like I said, but that's been back in the 80s. So unfortunately, I couldn't find it on Google anywhere. I went to find that particular document.
Yes, and I do know about that particular issue that can happen, and it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
But I was especially informed of it when I had, when I was taking care of children years ago, and I had one particular one that kept begging for water all the time. It seemed like he was thirsty all the time, but he wasn't. Some conditions can make you thirsty, like, if you're a diabetic. Sometimes that condition can make you extremely thirsty.
Yeah.
Especially when you haven't been diagnosed or you're not on the medicine, you'll be so thirsty, and no matter how much you drink, you're still thirsty.
Yeah, and diabetic, you trying to avoid sugar, but like you was telling about the little boy, he probably was used to eating a lot of sweets, and sweet content rather, or sugar will make you thirsty.
Yeah, so I don't think it was that, Dr. Glenn. I think it was a way, to being in a lack of food that he was used to trying to put something in his stomach.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was one of those kind of situations where, so he wanted water all the time, so he had that full feeling, because at least he had something in his stomach. So that's what that particular thing was, but it says that it's a rare condition. It says, and I'm hoping that you're looking at the "Can you be allergic to water" document.
I'm looking at being allergic to water.
Okay, I'm not.
But go ahead with that one, because I'm reading a paragraph on that document I have. It says something similar. It says rare, severe reactions can cause wheezing or trouble breathing if you're drinking water that affects your throat.
Yeah, so it says here that they're not sure about what causes it, but they said that it's not a true allergic response. Hypersensitivity is considered a hypersensitivity reaction and not a true allergic response. But there are some that have when they're triggered by it, they do end up with hives and those type of things, or the skin is burning and itching. And it says here, water interacts with certain proteins in the skin, triggering an abnormal immune response.
Yeah.
This causes a mast cells to activate and release histamine along with other inflammatory substances, leading to symptoms like hives, redness, and itching.
Yeah. See, so as long as it releases something, histamine, that would minimize the situation. But we have 1 minute before we go to the first break. And when we come back, I just want to explain once again, Apostle, about the little boy when I worked at the hospital. He was allergic to water. He would always sneak off the pediatrics unit, come down and sit with me at the security station. And they were looking for him one day. That's when I found out he was allergic to water. But it was more or less, he was allergic to the contents of the water, tap water. He was allergic to the chlorine, things that cleanse the water or purify the water.
Yes, so I could see that, Dr. Glenn, being allergic to some of the things in water versus the water itself.
Yeah.
But then I'm wondering, did he need bottled water? Instead of bathing bottled water. Hey, we're getting ready to go out on our first break, and this subject is very, very interesting on today. We want you to come right back to hear about being allergic to water. There are some people that are allergic to water, so we want to get you a few of the symptoms of what and how it acts, in order to be allergic to water. This is the Glenn Johnson Show. You're listening to us right here on Awesome Radio Network. Back in a moment.
Do you have documents that need to be notarized? We provide notary services by appointment 252-756-3137.
Hello, this is C. Say Brown. Thank you for listening to the Awesome Radio Network.
Awesome Radio, yeah, it's awesome, awesome, can you feel it? Awesome, awesome.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, AwesomeRadioNetwork.org, Awesome Radio Network, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. You are still tuned into the Glenn Johnson Show. Thank you for keeping it locked right here. We're continuing our topic of discussion, being allergic to water, water allergies, and what have you. All happening now, right here on the Glenn Johnson Show. Let's go back to Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Yes, so one of the things when it said that it's not like the other reactions is that I read when we were looking at this particular, when I was looking at the documents, it said that the hives and rash could appear for about 30 minutes.
That's it.
So it's not like the other, allergies, or when you're having an allergic reaction, a true allergic reaction, you're going to need something to counter that. But it says that eventually they will disappear on its own. You have the reaction, but it will disappear with most people that it disappears on its own. It says that it may last for a short time or up to a few hours, 4 at the most.
That's very interesting because, one thing I meant to do that I didn't do, so we don't have that with us, is see if being allergic to water, if you have a reaction, if it requires you to use an EpiPen.
Well, it did say here that some symptoms can cause wheezing or shortness of breath. Now, I think that's when it's gotten to be severe and you do need the EpiPen. But the way that it reads is that, during over 30 minutes or a short period of time that it's going to go away on its own. But if you're having the other symptoms of wheezing and those type of things, then you need to, that needs to see something else.
Yeah,
it's a more severe reaction.
Yeah, you probably need an EpiPen, and you probably need to make a visit to the ER.
Yes, that definitely. And it talked about it commonly affects areas are the trunk and the upper arms. However, the palms and soles are generally spared. So usually you don't get broken out on the palms, but usually that's where you're going to get water is on your arms and your hands. I'm just saying, if you come in contact with water, it's usually your arms or the upper part of your body. It says, how is it diagnosed? Well, it said these symptoms can occur after a person showers, so it's not saying they can't shower. They're just saying that the symptoms come up after, because I'm thinking, what do you do? Are you blowing away? You can't, you need water. How can you live and bathe? I mean, that's the primary thing to clean yourself with.
You know what I was just thinking about? So being allergic to water, particularly ones that it might affect their skin. What happens if they have tears running down their face or if they're sweating?
And that's exactly what it says, that if the reaction can come from sweat or tears. I mean, everybody's been itchy after sweating. But it doesn't mean we're allergic to it. So, I mean, it can happen. I mean, have you ever been sweating and then suddenly started itching? Well, I don't know about tears. I don't know if I've itched after tears, but I've definitely itched after sweating. So
Yeah.
I think that's a kind of a normal thing.
Yeah, because when you sweat and tears have like a stinging or burning sensation.
Yes. So I want to invite you today that if you would like to call in and be a part of our audience on today. I know this is an interesting subject.
It is.
You can call in and be live right here on the air with me and Dr. Glenn. The phone number here is 252-756-2008. Again, 252-756-2008. I almost said it too fast for myself, but you can call and be live right here on the air, and maybe if you have a few questions about this condition.
And if you're long distance, don't forget to dial the 1 prior to dialing the 252.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you today because this subject is very interesting. And then there may be people that don't know, have you seen giving kids baths and then they seem like they're itchy or broke out after the bath? It could be that it's not the soap. It could be that they're temporarily allergic to the water. So you have to see, and different cities and different places have different requirements. They have different things that they put into the water to make it clean, or different standards. And, in some places they have fluoride in the water. They used to add, fluoride, and sometimes it's a chlorine smell, a bleachy smell when you turn the water on. I'm talking about even in our area, I've smelled it at times where it's like a bleachy smell. Yeah. So those are some of the things too that people can be allergic to that's in the water.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that have an adverse effect, especially when it comes to minors or children of young age. When you mentioned the fluorine, I heard, last year I heard they were removing fluoride from toothpaste because fluoride contains a large amount of sugar. So they're trying to formulate a fluorine-free toothpaste because of that.
Fluoride-free. But the fluoride is used beneficially for the mouth and gums. It works.
Yeah, but they said it contains a lot of sugar.
Well, the toothpaste is not extra sweet because of it. I mean, I don't know who's getting the sweet toothpaste, but I don't have any. It's not, it's got a little, but not real sweet,
I think it's in the, this is why they want to remove it, because of children. They don't want children to get addicted to sugar.
Yes, so it says that this usually resolves 30 to 60 minutes after contact with the water. So that's why they say it's not like a true reaction, because a true reaction, you're going to have to do or take something to stop that reaction.
To stop it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the hives won't just go away on their own. It will. And it also says here that it could be genetic. You could be genetically predisposed, other people in your family are itching or and I think that we probably need to look at this more, that there's probably a lot more people that are allergic to water, but they don't know that that's what caused them to start itching. Running through the sprinklers. I can remember being itchy as a kid.
Yeah, because, it's true, because some people just might think, well, it might have been something they ate, something they rubbed up against, anything or any excuse to why they're itchy. And they would never think that it could possibly be the water.
So it said to confirm the condition, healthcare providers use a water challenge test, a controlled method for observing skin reactions to water. A water challenge test is conducted as follows. So it says first apply distilled or tap water at room temperature to the upper body using a damp towel or compress. Let the water remain on your skin for 15 to 40 minutes before removal. Then remove the towel and compress and monitor the skin for 10 minutes. So that's how you could tell, even do it yourself and see if it's the water. Look, some people thinking it's the detergent. They're thinking it's the perfume, it's the lotion, and it could just be some of the things that are in the water.
Could just be water.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me issue a little small disclaimer. So today's topic, should you desire to have any of the documents that we have, please don't hesitate to email me at Glenn, Glenn Johnson, show@gmail.com. Also, the information that we're utilizing today is for your own personal knowledge and education. Should you suspect anything or need to know anything further, please contact your physician.
Yes, definitely. And, I'm just saying some things that could be, a part of it, and then it could not be. So definitely go and see your doctor and see. But, we all have seen some things that make it seem like we could be allergic to something, or it could be more than, and sometimes change the detergent and still itching.
So
change the perfume, change the lotion, and still itching.
So it's got to be something.
It's got to be something. It could be the water or the mixture of something else with the water. Hey, we want you to come back and look. Don't fail to call in because we know you have some things you want to say about this, and we want to put you right on the air today. This is Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams, and you're listening to us right here on Awesome Radio. That phone number is 252-756-2008. Call in and you could be live on the air with us. We are going to be right back in a moment.
Awesome Radio.
Hello, this is Guy Jackson. Thank you for listening to the Awesome Radio Network.
Awesome Radio. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. Can you feel it? Awesome. Awesome.
That was very brief, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. Apostle is looking for a document right now, so let me just find that document also. But as I mentioned earlier, if you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to.
Well, Dr. Glenn, before I get that document, it said here that you need to take, if you're allergic to water, you need to take a bath with the wet wipes. And I said, wet wipes have water in it. But that's what they're saying is avoid the shower, unnecessary water exposure by using wet wipes instead of showers.
Yeah.
It said use a waterproof barrier. So if it's raining and stuff outside, then you're gonna have to take more precautions, like putting on, like people do in the sun, and using sunscreen. You're gonna have to put a waterproof barrier on your skin to try to keep your skin from getting wet. Everyone gets caught in the rain at some point in their life, or a little bit of moisture, snow or something. It's going to catch you at some time. So the people that are allergic to water have to go through a lot of extra precautions.
So it's more than just tap water with chlorine and all that
That's
stuff.
right. It's water. And they talked about managing your body temperature to reduce sweating, to make sure you don't sweat. So those people that are allergic to water, they have a lot more to go through. I mean, this just almost looks like something that's disabling to me, because water is everywhere.
Yeah.
And you just have to go through so much more to make sure that you're not exposed to water. And then what if somebody wastes some on you? I mean, just a minute ago, Dr. Glenn wasted some on me. He wasted on the floor and it splashed on me. It happens. People are walking, you could come into contact with water anywhere.
That's right.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot more that they have to do in order to stay safe from having a water allergy.
Yeah, and speaking of water allergy, I don't want to move away from what we're talking about just yet, but I want to mention one thing to get everybody's attention. How much water can kill you? That was a question. The symptoms and treatments we have from scienceinsights.org.
Which one are we looking for, Dr. Glenn?
How much water can kill you? This was as of May 2nd, 2026.
All right. How much water can kill you? May 2nd, I see it. Drinking more than 3 to 4 liters, roughly 1 gallon of water in a few hours can be dangerous for an adult and fatal causes typically involve 5 liters or more consumed over just a couple of hours. So if you're drinking a whole gallon, and I just don't know whose stomach can fit a whole gallon in an hour.
That's
a lot of water. It is. It's a lot. I can't do it, and I've been thirsty. But I can't, as soon as I get it in, that's it.
Well,
I don't need a gallon.
You have all these joggers, people that jog and do sports and stuff. They might consume a lot of water.
Well, you got to be real aggressive with the water to just sit and take. I'm thinking a whole gallon and just get it all in. How you gonna wrap your lips around the gallon jug first and then just chug it?
Yeah, but I know this. I don't know, might know for a fact, but you ever watch sports, particularly football, professional football, and they have the water guys. They call them water boys. but they don't have water. They have Gatorade,
Yes.
something that replenishes the electrolytes and all that stuff.
Yes, because they don't want them to have too much water out there like that. They do want to replenish their body fluids. So
Yeah, because sometimes it'll give you cramps.
it says when you take the water in faster than your kidneys can eliminate it, it says the sodium in your blood becomes dangerously diluted. And the condition called hypoatremia. These words, hypoatremia. And it says your brain swells inside your skull, and without treatment, that swelling can kill you. Wait a minute. I thought it was something else. But your brain is swelling when you drink too much water? That could be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, because it says you're dilating what's supposed to be your body. And I'm glad you said that, because when I was mentioning the lady, when I was working at the Jersey Shore Medical Center, it was determined that that happened to her. She had drank so much water, it diluted everything in her body. So what's supposed to have been in her body was no longer there, because she flushed it all out.
And then your kidneys can't handle it. That's going to shut down your kidneys. And that's why I said with the kids, you have to watch them when they're running out and playing and they keep coming in and hitting that faucet and keep drinking, because kids don't always have a filter. They don't know when to stop,
Yeah,
with
that's right.
particular things. Adults, we can look and say, look, I done drank a lot of water today. But I'm saying over the day is fine, but not all at once.
Yeah, that's why if you have a young child, you have to monitor them very careful as to their intake of various items.
That's right. And sometimes, too, these kids, when they're drinking it so fast, they will begin to throw up because they're drinking too much water and they're drinking it too fast. Makes them
Yeah.
sick on the stomach. I've seen kids bring it right back up. They
Oh,
was
yeah.
so hot and panting and trying to get cool, and as soon as that water hit their stomach, they brought it back up
That's right.
because they need to calm down.
Because it was a shock.
Yeah, it's a shock to them. So it said here how much your kidneys can handle. Your kidneys are the bottleneck. At peak capacity, healthy adult kidneys can excrete roughly 800 to 1,000 milliliters, about a quart of water per hour. So when you are drinking a whole gallon, your kidneys are not able to filter that much water that fast. It takes a quart an hour. That's how much. So it takes time. And when you've overloaded your kidneys, that's what causes the problem.
Does that say at the bottom? Once it drops below 120, you're in very severe. Is that hypothermia? That's not hypothermia. Hypo something territory. And you're at risk of seizures, coma, death, and
Well, it said who's most at risk is endurance athletes, like you said, is one of the highest risk groups. Marathon runners,
Yeah.
ultra marathon participants, military trainees,
Yeah.
hikers in extreme heat have all died from water intoxication. So that's what they call it, being intoxicated from water intoxication. So it's almost like it'll make you feel like you're intoxicated, like you're just out of it. And it makes you feel woozy, like you've drank alcoholic beverages. And that's why they call it water intoxication. The problem is that during prolonged exercise, the body also releases a hormone that reduces urine production, meaning the kidneys slow down right when the person is drinking the most. So it's that slowing down of the kidneys that causes it. And that's what I said. You have to watch. It is said people with smaller body sizes are more vulnerable because they have a smaller total blood volume to dilute. Children, petite adults can reach dangerous sodium levels with less water. So it mentioned the children there, and that's where I knew this from, was dealing with kids, as I said earlier. Hey, I know you may have some questions and you want to call in. I want to get you on the air today. And Dr. Glenn, I want to one day we'll talk about a condition that happens to women in menopause that makes you feel like something is crawling on you.
I heard about that.
I think I'm a victim because I'm always thinking something's crawling. And I see something, I become itchy and think that I think that's just psychological. But I want to talk about that because I think a lot of women suffer with it and they don't even know that it's happening.
But I'm glad you said it was psychological. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Because, I can see something on somebody and next thing you know, I'm itching. Hey, we're going out on this break and we're going to come right back. We want you to come right back. This is the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. You're listening to us on the Awesome Radio Network, 1570 AM and 107.5 FM. We want you to stay locked in right there. Do not change that dial. Do not take a break. We will be right back.
Join our team of totally awesome volunteers. When you volunteer into the Awesome Radio Network family, you are valued and appreciated. Are you retired? Do you need something rewarding to do? Do you need community hours? We can be reached at 252-756-3137. We have several volunteer
can go.
opportunities readily available for you to choose from. Awesome Radio Network is seeking self-motivated and positive volunteers who may be interested in learning how we do radio and community events. Visit our website to learn more, awesomeradionetwork.org. or reach us at 252-756-3137. Disclaimer: we vet our volunteers and reserve all rights to mutually accept or refuse.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. Here on Awesome Radio, awesomeradionetwork.org, WECU, 1570 AM, 107.5 FM, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. We have reached our final 20 minutes of today's broadcast. So without delay, let me go right back over to Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Hey, glad that you stuck in there and that you're still watching. I see some people on the screen and they're hanging in there the whole time. They're listening to this subject and they have not turned us off. Listen, how is water intoxication, how is it treated? How do the doctors treat it? It said in an emergency room, the priority is raising the blood sodium levels quickly enough to reduce the brain swelling without correcting it too fast, which carries its own neurological risk. And so just to think about that you're having brain swelling from drinking too much water, and then they have to carefully get enough salt or sodium in there to correct it without doing it too fast, which can cause probably permanent brain damage.
That's right. Possibly could. And you know what? It mentioned several of these documents. It mentions sodium a lot.
It said doctors administer a concentrated salt solution intravenously in carefully measured doses, monitoring the sodium level repeatedly over the first hours. The goal is to bring sodium up by a small but meaningful amount within the first hour. If the correction happens too aggressively, it can damage the protective coating around nerve fibers, so the process requires close monitoring.
I'm curious as to why they might be trying to elevate the sodium level, because sodium itself is nothing but salt.
Yeah, well, they got to put it back in there because you flushed it all out and diluted all that in your body, and you need it. I know people, they say, remember, don't eat too much salt or whatever, and here it is, your body needs that. You need some of it. Now, don't overdo it, but there they are talking about how they're putting sodium in the body to bring up these levels and stop the swelling in the brain.
Yeah, not to get off the subject, but it's like almost like all these people that like to fast, and there's nothing wrong with fasting, let me get that straight. But they like to fast. They have to use all these cleansers, cleanse out their body, particularly like colon and stuff like that. But using all these detoxifications and cleansers, clean out your body, you might be cleaning out way too much.
Yes, you can be, but it's good to fast because let me tell you something. Sometimes we be chowing down so much eating all the time, eating every day, eating 2 or 3 times, eating in the night. Lord help us, Jesus. And sometimes everything needs a break.
You know what, Apostle? I eat so much I get mad when I get hungry.
That's what I'm saying, Dr. Glenn. A little fast won't hurt you. A little, some fruits and vegetable fast. Some people, they have to take medicine with their food, but it's good to kick off and let it go sometime.
Especially
and sometimes we not just hungry, we greedy.
Yeah, we greedy. Especially if you get mad when you're hungry.
Yeah, if you get hangry, you have some eating problems. You need to be fasting. I don't get hangry, but I do find myself over this summer, I have been indulging in a little bit more at night. Lord help me, I don't need to eat at night. But it seems like that husband of mine is always coming. We already ate dinner, and then he coming in with something else.
But you know what I had to do? And I'm not joking about this. Because one of my attorney in Philadelphia, he knows me. And so does especially my daughter. I cannot enter my house with 1 ounce of ice cream. Haven't eaten ice cream in so long because a couple of drops just jacked my sugar rate up.
Oh, yeah. Well, they do have sugar-free.
I used to get the ice cream. I'm not going to mention the brand name, but I used to have Splenda.
Yes.
They took it right off the market.
Yeah, but sometime I'm going to tell you some of those, because I used to do those too with the Splenda. Tear your stomach up. Your stomach is... You're trading off one thing for the next, in that bathroom. That's I don't know why
it was
wrong
good.
With that ice cream.
It was good to me.
Yeah, it was good now, but I'm just saying now, I've had some issues with that Splenda ice cream.
Yeah.
But we don't see it anymore.
Yeah, they took it off the market.
Because they might not have been telling the truth. That might have been real sugar in there. It was very good.
You never know. You never know. We got 4 minutes. Let's go back to the document because I definitely want to get to the one.
You wanted to talk to the woman about the woman that died from drinking too much water.
We'll get that in the final 10 minutes.
Okay, which one are you wanting now?
Whatever you're on right now.
Okay, well, that's what I have there is the woman that died, and I have that one up. I thought you wanted to do that one.
All right, you can go ahead with that for 4 minutes.
Okay, well, no, Dr. Glenn, there's another one that had, and it had some numbers on it.
Yeah, definitely get that one.
And
because
I need to see 6 signs that you're drinking too much water.
Yeah.
6 signs that you're drinking too much water, and that, I think, is a very good one. I need to get down to the signs. Dr. Glenn, I think you cut it off there.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
6 signs. I'm still looking there. Overhydration, when it seems an excess of water intake. Dr. Glenn, I don't see my numbers here.
Did I cut it off?
Yes, you did. I don't see the numbers there. But if you go online, I wanted to say to you, and you can be apprised of any of the documents we have here. I literally see pictures on some of the documents of the back of someone that is red and swollen in their arms and different things that are red and swollen from having an allergic reaction to water. But the intoxication is a different thing.
Yeah, and just let me just say once again, should you desire to have any of the documents, please don't hesitate to email me at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com because some of the documents have some very reliable sources like medical institutions and different things of that nature.
Yes, and again, we just have a little bit we just have a little time left. We still have enough for you to call in and be live on this air. I keep trying to get you to call in. I know you're listening. And I know you're out there. I'm trying to get you to call in and have something to say on today. Or maybe you just want to say hey to me and Dr. Glenn. We'll do that.
Absolutely.
We also take suggestions for other subjects. If you have a subject matter you'd like to see us address here, and I don't care what it is. Men, we're telling you that we're going to address it here. We might do it in a classy way. We might do it in a roundabout way, but we'll address any subject that you think would be interesting for us to talk about.
And we're definitely going to do it in a professional manner.
In a professional manner. Now, we may not do it like you expect, but we're going to do it. So,
Because you know I'm going to clown around.
Yes, and we love to laugh here on this platform. I say don't come over here if you don't want to laugh, because sometimes things get funny and sometimes things are going to tickle us and it's going to tickle you.
Yeah, because I have a very, very rich sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, and sometimes you just be saying stuff over there.
Oh, shucky ducky.
I got to keep my eye on you, Dr. Glenn. Sometimes you just be saying stuff. I have to look twice and say, okay. But I'm grateful for you. He says we have a comment that said, "Great show. Never knew of a water allergy."
Yeah.
This is information for some people. I'm telling you, it was information for me too.
I don't have my chat thing up, but tell that chat person, don't hesitate to email me. Give them an email address.
Yes, James, don't hesitate to email Dr. Glenn about this particular subject. Anybody else that wants these particular documents, we'll email them to you and make sure that you're able to see this. But this is a surprise. This is a surprise. And let me say this, Dr. Glenn. I don't know how good you can clean with those wipes. I'm still stuck on that part.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
still stuck on it because I've used them just to wipe my hands and they don't do that well. They don't, I mean, they can do some, but imagine having to do parts that are sticky with that.
And some people can't even use the wipes because it might contain an alcohol content.
Oh, yeah, and they do. They do contain, they can burn your skin. What if you're already sensitive and now you're putting that alcohol stuff on there?
Yeah.
Sometimes the babies can't tolerate them. Look, we're getting ready to go out on this break, and this is, I think, our last break for our last segment here.
Yes.
And we want you to come in and hang on in there. We're going to talk about the woman that died from drinking too much water. This is Awesome Radio, Glenn Johnson Show, back in a moment.
Awesome radio. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. Can you hear it? Awesome. Awesome.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. That was very brief, so we're going to go right into it. Do we have one document? Like I said, I was trying to locate a document from the lady that I knew about from living in New Jersey when I was employed at Jersey Shore Medical Center that succumbed to drinking too much water. And ultimately they said what happened was she was a jogger. She drank a plentiful amount of water and diluted the contents of her body. So all the contents that should have been there were no longer there, and she passed away. Apostle?
Yes, and that's exactly what we're talking about here today. Is talking about, and we have one particular document here, which is speaking of a particular woman's situation. It says that she, and this happened in 2023, so that's not that terribly long ago. A 35-year-old mother in Indiana who died after drinking 64 ounces of water. That's 4 16-ounce bottles in just 20 minutes while feeling extremely thirsty during a lake vacation.
4 16-ounce bottles.
Right. That don't seem that much, you know, but
Yeah,
that
well-
is, well, I'm just thinking about myself chugging 2 of them. I've done 2 or 1.5, and then I'm full. I can't do it. I can't keep going with it.
Yeah, I've done 2 16-ounce before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is still to drink that 4 bottles of water in 20 minutes. That's the problem. She had to hit a bottle every 5 minutes
Yeah.
in order to get that in like that. That's a lot. It's a lot to drink. Because I'll be working with it. Sometimes I put the bottle down, Dr. Glenn, and I done left it there and be there. And and then I've left it in the car. I drank a little, and I have a bunch of them piling up in the car. So I start giving them to my plants. I start bringing the water that I left behind to the plants.
But see, I'm surprised that she didn't develop cramps. Anybody that consumed a lot of water. Because, you know, I used to jog because I was in martial arts and boxing. And so I used to jog all the time, but never after working out and chugging that water down because it would give me cramps bad.
Well, and it doesn't say that she was an athlete. She was just on a lake vacation.
Oh,
She just started feeling thirsty. So I wonder if there was another condition in her body that caused her to have the thirst like that. Because, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes the onset of diabetes, you know, the thirst, you know, one of my relatives, they mentioned how thirsty they were before they were diagnosed.
Same thing happened to me. And you're right. This person could have some underlying condition.
Right, and end up in trouble with drinking too much water. And then it says Jennifer Strange in 2007, a 28-year-old woman in Rancho Cordova, California, who died from water intoxication after participating in a radio station's Hold Your Wee for the Wee contest.
Well, that's one radio station that I don't know what the outcome was. Does it mention anything about ultimately what the outcome was?
No, it just said, we may have to dig into that a little bit more, but when it's saying Hold Your Wee for the Wee contest, they're telling them not to go to the bathroom. So they're holding their urine, apparently. And that was what caused it, because remember it said that you need to, the problem is that your kidneys can't filter that much water. So they're drinking that much water and then holding their urine, and that's what caused it, the person to die. I'm sorry, I wouldn't do it.
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it either.
I wouldn't do it. You know, I see some of them with the eating contest, and they're eating all that food and stuff. I mean, these people are just, they don't even look like they're chewing it. They're just swallowing it. I can't do it. I couldn't do it. And I don't, who would participate in something that could take your life?
That's right. So you know we won't be doing that at Awesome Radio.
Yeah, definitely. And it says to prevent water intoxication, experts recommend spacing fluid intake throughout the day, consuming no more than 1 liter per hour. When hydrating rapidly or sweating heavily, it is also advised to consume electrolyte drinks containing sodium and potassium. You can read more about the ABC News coverage of Ashley Summers. So that's where it was broadcasted.
And I possibly have 4 minutes remaining, but I want to share something with you and our listening audience. So we'll probably do a part 2 next week because there's a lot more to talk about. And I appreciate the person chatting. I hope he emails me. And we're going to be talking about the bear population in North Carolina, particularly Pitt County. I did go on Officer Walker Shelton from the North Carolina Wildlife Reserve, and he's gonna, either him or he's gonna contact one of his colleagues, Pitt County Animal Control. Either one or both will come on to do the show about the bear in Pitt County.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of articles and the bears are being hit out on the road, and there's a lot of them that are coming towards housing projects in those particular areas.
Yeah, and one of them was stressed out recently on Highway 11. And then a couple months ago, my son sent me a photograph of a bear in his backyard.
Yeah, and so right now it rained last night, but one of the issues I believe that the bears are coming in for is because it is dry. And they're looking for food. You know, when it's dry, we've seen the grass. You know, this year, for the first time, I've seen the grass look so dry here.
Yeah.
You know, I went outside, I'm like, it's all brown looking, and it's hard. The ground is hard.
And with all the rain, my grass got so high, my lawn would look like safari.
Yes, it can be, and that is affecting the animals, you know, with the lush green grass and being able to find water. So they're coming in and they're looking for food and they're looking for water.
That's right.
You know, and it's hot.
And do not attempt to approach or do anything to the animal. Your best thing to do is get on the phone and call someone.
Well, you don't have to tell me that, Dr. Glenn.
I know you ain't going nowhere near it.
Yeah, and if I see it, that's just it for me. I'm not helping. Remember, I already said that. I will call somebody, but that's it for me. That's it for me. I'm not. And I've seen people, you know, on some of these social medias, they're going up, getting close to wild animals and trying to take pictures and those type of things. Don't do that. Don't do it. And then when something happens, you know, now they're trying to destroy the animal. And it says, look, Dr. Glenn, we have a show suggestion. I need to say this before we get off.
Yes.
From James again. It says, how do seniors date these days? It would be an excellent topic for another show. Now listen, we might not need to delve too deeply into Dr. Glenn's business over there. And it says seniors date these days. It's crazy out there. Somebody said,
Seniors do date these days. Some of them are cougars.
yeah, well, oh, you talk about the women, but the men, I don't know what you call them, but that's something too. It's a whole bunch of them too. That's going to be a great subject. That's an excellent topic for another day. We're going to take that subject on, and we're going to look at that and see how seniors date today. And you know, I'm getting up there, Dr. Glenn. I'm just glad I'm married, because I don't want I wouldn't want the craziness that's going on out there.
Well, I tell you this. I did meet somebody new. We've been going out to restaurants, having dinner and all this stuff, but I ran into one problem. Her roommate, she got a roommate.
Uh-huh.
Her husband.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Glenn, don't do it. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Hey, we are going to, James, we're going to take that subject and we're going to take it on and look and give you guys some suggestions and some different things and some cautions about being out there.
Make sure James has my email address.
Oh, yeah, James, make sure that you're able to email Dr. Glenn at
GLNNJH, Glenn Johnson Shell at gmail.com. Glenn with 2 N's.
I'm going to write that down. After we're done with the Bears, we'll look at that, because I think dating is an important subject. And I did a subject once, courtship to covenant, talking about people that want to get married. If you just want to date, it's a different thing versus somebody that wants to get married. So we'll tackle that subject, because there are people that are in both files. Hey, we want you to come back next week. We're going to talk about the Bears, and then we'll talk about dating after that. And we want to see you right back here watching the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. See you next week. Dr. Glenn?
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. God bless you all.
Awesome radio.